日本? That's how you say Japan in Chinese. Odds are you probably didn't need to know that, but I did, and now we all do. Language. I recently took a trip to Japan with the sole purpose of consuming as much street food as possible. Now, I don't know anyone in Japan. I don't speak any Japanese, but I enjoy Japanese things. Sushi, samurai movies, Wolverine, not Japanese, but a Japanese enthusiast like myself. So I live in a decidedly Asian context, right? But I was curious about Japan. How is it different than the mainland where I live? How is it similar? So I geared up and I hit the road for a solo adventure. Now I'm a planner, okay? So step one, I create the Japlan. I got 4 days to split between Osaka and Kyoto. What should I eat? What should I see? I consulted some blogs and some YouTube channels, shoutouts forthcoming, and then I made some maps. Look, I'm old enough to remember the pre-smartphone era, okay, when we used to print out directions. Actually, I remember when we just straight up used maps. And I felt like, you know what? I want to get off my phone. I want to get unplugged. I want to use a map. Also, there's a good chance my phone will not work in Japan. So the Japlan included maps of all the places I wanted to hit up and routes from how to get from place to place. I bought tickets, reservations on Airbnb, coordinated plans coming together. I had an early flight the first morning, so I got to the airport and I overpaid for a bowl of noodles for breakfast. There are other names for this, but we're basically talking about egg noodle soup. I do love noodles for breakfast, but this was less of a treat yourself situation and more of a this is the only place that's open in the airport right now situation. The soup was alright. Egg noodles, which believe it or not, they don't eat very often in China. Some chicken, some mushrooms, some veggies. This was not an epic snack, okay? But I'm showing it to you because I ate it at 6 a.m. and I did not eat again until 10 p.m. that night. This was not part of the Japlan. What I'm saying is the Japlan broke down very early on. Do you guys get travel anxiety? I don't know if it was just because I was going to Japan for the first time, I was going by myself, or just because I'm getting older, but I could not sleep the night before, and I had this tightness in my chest, like what I imagine death feels like. I don't know if this is because I'm a planner, but I think it might be. How you gonna do me like this, Japan? We were just getting started. Anyways, flight to Shanghai, no problem. No check bags, just rolling with my backpack. Go to the other terminal, trying to find where I check in for my international flight. That's when I realized there's another airport in Shanghai and I'm at the wrong one. A real planner would have noticed the discrepancy in the airport codes. I get in a cab, I spend all my emergency cash to get across the city of Shanghai to the other airport, throwing elbows, cutting through lines. Gate 64, ready to go. Flight's delayed. Flight delayed. I spent my emergency cash for nothing, and I'm not even out the country yet. But the thing is, I'm hungry, and I got no money left. They gave me a free fried rice on my first flight, which I didn't eat, because I had just filled up with those egg noodles. But then, through the whole delay, no food, and then on that flight, also no food. I'm seriously running out of steam. I get to Osaka in time for the sunset, nice, and then I gotta figure out the train system. It's very clearly marked, but if you've never seen it before, it takes a while for all of the pieces to kind of come together and make sense to you so you can process the information and understand, you know, where do I put the money? You need to achieve a sort of zen-like state as you're standing there on the platform taking in the information. And I didn't have the calories for that. So I stumble through it. I'm looking for the OCAD, which is a bus, not a train. Did I know that? Who even planned this trip? So I took a train, which got me to the area of my Airbnb, but how was I gonna find the actual place? Maps. That's right, I found the place in the dark by having studied the maps. Also, probably, God helped me.
I'm so tired. I
ventured out into the Japanese night, drawn by destiny, to Dotonbori. This is the spot in Osaka for snacks and other stuff. I'll get into it even more next week, but for my first snack in Japan, I went for the undisputed champion of Osaka, Okonomiyaki. Now, if you go to a Japanese restaurant that has okonomiyaki on the menu, they'll probably mention, hey, this dish comes from Osaka. Now, I was in Osaka, just stumbling through the streets, spurred on by the gnaw of hunger, and I just happened into a place that specialized in Okonomiyaki! I'm saying this snack was my destiny. Now I should tell you, the best way to enjoy this snack is to make it yourself. You go to a place and they give you all the ingredients and then you just fix it right there. But I didn't know how to do that. I was just wandering the streets. I'm lucky I found it at all. Okonomiyaki is a hot skillet of vegetables and meat, fried with a lot of egg until it wraps up into a kind of Japanese omelet. On top, they put something like teriyaki sauce and these wavy flakes. The heat from the pan makes them dance like they're alive.
Still can't figure out what this is.
Fish flakes. They're fish flakes, and it turns out I like fish flakes. It's not just the hunger talking, I really liked okonomiyaki. Tangy sauce on this pretty heavy omelet, hearty and filling, which is what I needed. My hunger abated, my anxiety a distant memory. I wandered Dotonbori for a bit, and then I went home for some Japanese lessons.
Miso onegashimasu. Igo anamasu ka?
I retained none of that. Street food. Welcome to Street Food. My name is Christian, and this is the first episode of Season 9. We're going to be talking snacks. We're going to be talking culture. New episodes every Friday. It's going to be deliciously informative. I hope you'll join us for more from Japan next week. Tell your friends about it. Have them watch along too. Until then, eat it on the street. Watch out for the parasites.